video, Ventura exits a hotel room and walks to a bank of elevators. Combs, holding a towel around his waist, runs down a hall after Ventura. He grabs her by the back of the neck and throws her to the floor. Still holding his towel closed with one hand, he then turns to kick her, the video shows. As Ventura is on the ground, Combs retrieves a purse and suitcase from the floor near the elevators. He turns around and kicks Ventura again as she lies motionless on the floor. About 4 seconds transpire between the two kicks, according to the video. He then briefly drags Ventura by her sweatshirt towards a room before walking away. Ventura is then seen slowly standing up. She gathers items from the floor and moves to pick up a phone on the hallway near the elevators. Combs, still in a towel and socks, returns. A mirror directly across from the security camera shows Combs appearing to shove Ventura. Seconds later, he sits down on a chair, grabs an object off the table, and forcefully throws it towards Ventura. Combs is seen walking away, then turns towards Ventura once again when an elevator door opens and someone appears to exit. Okay, so that ends what they are depicting. CNN is depicting what is on this videotape. So let's get back to the rest of the commentary. Alright, you guys, so if you've clicked on this video, then we all know why you're here, okay? I am giving my commentary, thoughts, and feelings on the very well-known trending topic of the video that was released, collaborating just some of the incidents that Cassie Ventura had reported in her lawsuit when she indicated some of the most horrific things that Diddy had did to her while they were in their 10-year relationship. Now, I've heard some reports that they were in a relationship 14 years, but the predominant year that I've heard is 10 years. So I'm going to say in their 10-year relationship. And that was on again and off again. So maybe that's where that 4 years is being calculated in. I'm not sure of that. But none of that matters. I posted a short yesterday commending the fact that this video had finally been released, because unfortunately we do reside and move around in a day and age where a lot of people, myself included, have to see certain things in order to believe certain things. And with AI becoming extremely out of control and running rampant, even that itself has become very questionable when it comes to what we consume in digital form. But I think it's safe to say that this particular video that has now been seen by the masses is not something that we can blame on AI. This is not something that we can say is generated by anything being manipulated. I feel very strongly that if anything about this video that we have seen, this clip, might be altered, it is the fact that where's the rest of it? You know what I'm saying? What happened after what they have shown us? As someone who loves watching criminal content and things of that nature, and likes to deem myself a virtual juror because of the amount of court cases I watch, I tend to think that I'm always prone to pay attention to what I don't see. And one of the things that I did when I watched the video, which I will not be playing on my channel, because again, it's been shown across your news broadcast. You've seen it on your television. You've already seen it in your social media timeline. I'm not gonna sensationalize something that's just so disturbing, because I believe in mental health, and I'm not going to do that. So anyway, the one thing that I did notice, or one thing that I made a point to do was when watching the video for the first time and watching clearly the obvious of just being shocked by the violence that was depicted in the video, I then watched it several more times just to try to pick up nuances that I might have been distracted because of what I was seeing in the main frame. And so what I wanted to do was, I also want to go and look at the timestamp on the video and look at the time that it's running, just to make sure there was no cuts in time. And that's how I know that there clearly is an additional video, because For this clip alone, there are no cuts in the time as it runs, but the clip that they do show us where he's sitting down and then we see him forcefully throw the vase at her, there's no timestamp showing on that video. So we don't know how much time lapse, which means we don't know what happened in between the moment that we see her sitting on the floor and having clearly some exchange of words with him. The next thing we see is her then up by the phone. Clearly we know she just didn't, materialize from the floor to the phone. So that's why I read the piece of the article that is describing that she slowly gets up and walks over to the phone. But that's still a piece of footage that we're not seeing in the video. And then we know that at that point he's not in that hallway with her where the elevators are. So what's happening in the video where we don't see him come back and then sit down, and how she ends up in that corner, and what happens after that? So we clearly know that there's more footage to the video, right? So I'm very like conscious of looking for things like that. Why does that matter? Because it could show some more damaging details that may even be too graphic for them to show of this video. And so from that point, not only that, we also know that in the article that I read, the clip, it says that someone comes off the elevator. Well, we know that she goes to the phone and she calls someone, right? So that means that they're hiding or protecting the image of the person that comes to the desk, comes up to the elevator. To me, that's telling me that that's the first point of contact of someone that works in that hotel that's seen that this girl had clearly been physically attacked and abused. We can't see to what extent, but we also know that then something else happens and they're not showing us that. So I'm intrigued to know what that something is. But today I want to talk about the fact that, to my previous point, in nowadays we have to see things to believe them. There was a very loud voice of people who were saying that the reason why, men and women included, that this woman was coming out for a money grab, because it had been reported that she was going to come out with a book and the book got shut down, and that she had been in the works of trying to get money from him to not have this book come out, because this book was going to depict all of this stuff. And then when he didn't give her that money to make the book go away, he somehow mysteriously made that happen, and so he didn't have to worry about paying her. But he did not bet on her suing him in a civil case, which would allow the information to be public record, right? Okay. And I told you all before in a previous video on a different channel that what she released in that civil case was just a small piece of the stuff that happened in their relationship. That if she really wanted to get him, she could share even more, right? So then we all saw what happened after that. He settled. We already know that he settled that in record time. He then went on to try to act like his life was so normal, that he was fine. And then boom, we know what happened after that. Two of his homes, some people say three, but two of his homes we know for sure that was televised were raided by the FBI, right? And Homeland Security. And now we are hearing that the AKA, the alleged drug mule, is now cooperating with the feds to basically now tell them everything he knows about his interactions with P. Diddy and everything that he's seen, so as to not go to jail or to lessen his jail time. So it's like, oops, now we have that. And he's going to be in protective custody, so they can't get to him. Okay. Now the video is out. We've seen it. And I didn't do a video purposely yesterday because I really wanted to just kind of, first of all, kind of detox and clear myself of the video, of watching it numerous times, just to, again, look at different nuances. And I then wanted to go and listen to what we would consider legitimate journalists, not vloggers and just regular lay people like myself commenting on it, but like journalists, right? And I've said before, journalists, their job is to tell the truth. Their job is to expose things and bring it to us and let us know what's really going on. That is their due diligence. And so I went to several different journalist channels to see how they were reporting this story. And I have to tell you, it was so disappointing because CNN laid it all out. They gave the video so that you could see with your eyes what transpired. They then described in the video in print what you were seeing in the video. To me, the only thing I would say that I feel that CNN failed when describing what was in the video, in the same description that they gave to how he forcefully threw an object at her, I feel as though they should have described how he forcibly threw her down on the floor. He threw her on that floor with such force you would have thought that somebody was throwing a pitch for a baseball. The way he kicked her, it had the same anger and disgust in it. It's like how you would see thugs beating up someone who stole their money. You know what I'm saying? And to think that this is someone that he was going around talking about how much he loved and all this sickening stuff. But we're not going to get into all of that because that's a whole nother rabbit hole to dig. But the way in which he treated her, again, we see him clearly bigger than her in frame and everything else, and not to mention the mental part of the control he had over her, right? And I believe still has over her to an extent. So anyway, the fact that they didn't put more emphasis on the aggression of how he threw her on that ground. And to me, for me personally, out of the dozens, if not more, of journalists that I heard describing this video, I found a lot of people really overlooking how the anger and the demonized way he grabbed her and slung her on that floor, and then she just laying there like it was with such force she could have been unconscious. The way she didn't move at all, like, to me, when I first saw that part, I was like, oh my god, this girl isn't moving, right? And then for him to then kick her again and then to see her hand move in a very, I don't, morbid way. And when I saw that part, I was like, oh my God, she's alive. It is like, that's just where my mind went, like to see her hand reaching back to her leg. I was able to release and breathe out, because when he threw her down on that floor with such forcefulness and she didn't move, I started breathing, because I was just like, I know that the young woman is alive, but to see her not moving in that moment, I was just, in a few seconds, I couldn't breathe. And it was just in some, like I said, some morbid way for me to see her reach back and touch her leg, which is like, oh, I could exhale, because it was like, oh my gosh, she wasn't unconscious at that point. And so then, all of these things we see happening, and to hear supposed legitimate solidified journalists reporting it like, oh, he threw her on the floor. What the fuck you mean he threw her on the floor? No, he slammed her onto the floor. Let's be very clear about that. What we're not going to do over here is to try to soften what we are seeing now, because a lot of these individuals who were describing and depicting what they saw in the video were men. I'm just going to put it out there. They were men, and they were acting as if, the worst thing they saw was the video in totality versus each step of what was happening. And these are men who admittedly will say that they have wives and daughters, which is always a cop out to me to hear certain men when someone who has been someone who they have interacted with in the entertainment industry, someone that they have mingled with, looked up to, and aspire to want to be in their presence, and then they see this type of stuff happen. They see the Dr. Jekyll aspect of this person's for lack of a better description, character, then all of a sudden they still try to find these little pockets to try to humanize or to try to lessen the demonic or the disgusting thing that they have now been exposed of doing. And to me, that tells me a lot about those individuals. And it tells me a lot about the organizations that they work for. Because let's keep it real, you guys. The one thing I will give lay people like myself and others who will just be truth sayers and just say things how it is, and even though we have to be mindful of what we say over on other platforms like this one, to try to be as truthful and paint the picture, as ugly as it might be, just to give you the reality of what's going on, is better than to sit up here and try to paint a coat over it and try to make it flowery and make it more presentable, when in actuality there's nothing about it that's floral in scent or needs to be presented in a more palatable way. Let's just call it what it is. It's disgusting, it's demonic, and it's extremely disturbing to see, but it needed to be seen so that a lot of people could be like, okay, there is no more considering the innocence of this man. He has lied to our face. We gave him the benefit. When I say we, I am not talking about myself. I'm talking about the general population. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. We gave him the freedom to wait to plead his case in a court of law. We gave him the freedom to still walk around as someone who had not actually been, shown any proof. And so in a sense, I kind of understand how some people were just like, y'all haven't seen nothing, y'all just listening to what somebody says, because sadly there's that other part of the shoe that drops, that there have been a plethora of women that have come out and lied about things that have been done to them that has never been done to them, and men have been accused of things that they have never actually done, and now they are being punished for it in ways that they don't deserve. So I get that, trying to wait till you have some evidence, but the evidence is here now, and it's just a very small little smidget and little peek into the totality of the disgusting individual that has deemed himself in so many different names to try to rebrand himself. And we talked about this in another video, and I told you all, he's trying to rebrand himself to wash away all of the evil that he's done. And that video has already been done, and I'm not going to regurgitate the theory of that. But what I will say is this, is that it does my heart good to know that when these type of videos are exposed, and at this point I don't care how it got exposed, I don't even care that it just got exposed now, because there was a post that his son, like father like son, okay, that damn King Combs posted. This happened in 2006. Why show the video now? Why is it coming out now? What? I told you all also in another video, I told y'all, I said that King Combs is going to be the one that's going to be Diddy's downfall. He going to be the one that's going to tell it all. And he had already did a rap diss telling that there's other houses that the feds didn't know about. Okay. Nobody asked him for that. Nobody needed that for that. And of all people, he tried to come after 50 Cent. Sir, stop it. And then you go online and you tweet that this happened in 2006. Why this video being shown now? What? Oh my goodness. But it goes to show you the type of mentality he was instilling into his sons. There is now the statements that's being made with the producer who has his lawsuit, saying that he was there when Justin Combs and Sean Combs stumped and shot the dude in the bathroom. So we're seeing that he's instilling this type of behavior into his sons, right? But is he instilling the same type of behavior in his daughters? Is he teaching his daughters that it's okay to let a man beat you and treat you like trash? Is he telling his daughters that, hey, you need to do whatever a man tells you to do, and to be a sexual deviant for a man if he wants you to, if he's paying, if he's doing this, like, is, take drugs and do this? What type of example is he setting for his daughters? We see this man around his children all the time. And I'm gonna go far and just put this out there, because I've noticed this, and I've thought about this before, and I'm gonna lay it out now in this video. His daughters, the twins, they're not that old yet. I think they're just now graduating out of high school. And to me, there's been times where they've been very sexualized, in my opinion, and it was done in a way in which I never saw them when their mother was alive. But it's just something you have to go back and pay attention to. But it's just something I thought about, like after their mama died, it seems like they became very adult looking and very sexualized. Again, just something I noticed. But not to digress, okay? At the end of the day, I keep hearing a lot of people saying, and these journalists saying, oh, his career is over now. It's so sad, but it's no coming back from this. Who cares? Who cares about him coming back? Who cares? Coming back should not even be a part of the discussion. His career shouldn't even be a part of the discussion. The discussion should be, all right, now we need to see what else we've been lied about. Now we need to know what other information about this individual that's been put on a pedestal, that's been force fed into our homes as this individual that we need to look up to and aspire to be, who's been brought into our homes and our devices, giving motivational speeches and trying to let us think that love is all you need, trying to be the black Paul McCartney and the next damn Ringo and the next John Lennon, and that's being pushed and force fed out to us. Again, him going right before all of this came out, going to the black U.S. Colleges and giving out millions of dollars. That's what politicians do when they're trying to pander to a certain group of people, to latch on to their character, to go, see, if he's giving out money to the black colleges, and if he's doing this and he's doing that, he can't also be this monster who beats and drugs women and has these freak offs. The two cannot exist in one. And that's a very naive thought process, because they very much can. They very much can. And it's the reason why he keeps trying to recreate himself, because he's trying to remove himself in the public vision of all the stuff that was getting ready to come down. And listen, I honestly think that the one thing that most people are saying that I agree with is that what's next? Because people in the entertainment industry know, and these journalists know, that when videos like this start coming out, it's a wrap, in the sense that there's no more protection. There's no more, we're not releasing this. Walk on eggshells when you talk about that. Nah, the gloves are off. He don't have the covering anymore. The time is up. So unless he can figure out a way to get himself over there to Bali with Russell Simmons, I don't know what Diddy is going to do. Right? And interesting enough, it seems like every time he tries to put out a post to try to humanize himself, something else comes out. Right away, he put out that Love album, and what happened not too long after that? Boom, the court case with Cassie came out, right? Then after he settled with that, then he tried to come out and say, I'm an innocent man. This is not true. Everything will be proven. Boom. Then the other lawsuit comes out from the producer who was part of the Love album. Boom. Soon as he tries to get more normalized, how about he's sending his kids off to college and trying to get them ready for proms and stuff, boom, his house gets raided by the doggone. He can't sleep before, every time he thinks he's got 2 steps ahead, they drop something else on him. So this video being dropped right now is just preparing us for the next crazy thing that we're about to see and hear about this man, that is going to be like, damn. So when we see him in handcuffs being ushered to jail, we're going to be like, you know what, we skipped the beat and we dropped the ball and we turned a blind eye to R. Kelly, but not this time. Not this time. And this is what I think the video is preparing us for the more horrific things that we're going to find out about this man. I told you all before, and I'm not the only one who said it. Everyone cannot sit up here and be saying all of these negative things about a person and no one come out and wholeheartedly say something true about you and it be lies. Like, it's just, that is his MO, that he does people dirty. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to start digging up more behind the Tupac and Biggie, more so Biggie's murder, right? I think that that's something that's gonna be dug up. I think that's going to be dug up. If y'all notice, we haven't really heard nothing about old boy that's in prison who they jailed for the murder of Tupac. We haven't really heard nothing about him. He definitely is talking. And now we got the mule, the drug mule, or we know he's talking, right? And then we got Cassie, who I'm very sure is cooperating and has been cooperating. And then there's other people who haven't said nothing because they cooperating. Everybody then got a notice and got a little knock on the door from the feds that he's ever worked with, and now they're all collecting information. So just I would just say, take this moment to take a deep breath and exhale, but just brace your shoulders and knees and your backs for the next thing that's about to come out about Sean Combs. Okay, you guys sound off in the comments, let me know what you think about it, and until next time, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.